What are you doing to make the world a better place? Is a question that I think comes up a lot on social media often. If you are critical of something or if you maybe say something a bit out of pocket, people will come back at you with, well, what are you doing to make the world a better place? You can't have an opinion on this or that if you're not contributing largely to benefiting the human race in the long term. Um, And while that's, extreme and a little bit silly, I think there's merit to asking that question. Not to other people, because that's a bit weird, but to yourself. To just ask, like, what are you doing that's gonna make the world a better place? And it doesn't have to be large scale, it can be incredibly small scale too. I mean, I think that in recent years, it's something I've tried to work on and try to change because it's important, right? Like, I think we all live in the same world. I think it's good to try to do good to improve the place that we live in for everybody, as much as you can. You know, it's it's complicated because I think about what do I do? If I ask myself the question, it's like, what do I do to make the world a better place? It's a tough question, but then you look back at, things you might have done in the past and you think, well, I've contributed a lot. I've done a lot of charity work, which, I feel very good about. I always feel good when I do stuff like that. But then again, it's been a few years since I've last done any sort of charity event, any sort of charity stream, any sort of, raising money for a cause. And then I feel like I really want to do that again. I want to get back to doing that. I really should because, it and this is where it gets a bit complicated. It makes me feel good, you know? And is that wrong? Are those the wrong motives? Should you only do charity work selflessly, entirely selflessly? You don't even consider how it makes you feel. Should it is it are you a better person if you do charity work despite it making you feel awful, like you hate it, you hate doing charity work, but you push through and you do it anyway because you care about people so much? Is that a better motivator and a better reason for someone to do charity work or volunteer work than the idea that I do it because I really like how it feels? It makes me feel good knowing that I'm helping people. It makes me feel good about myself that I've contributed something positive. Is that wrong? I don't know. I suppose it's a question to ask, isn't it? Or something to think about. But it's something I would like to do more of, regardless of the reason. I think it would be nice to do. I think everyone got a bit fucked up when COVID hit, and we weren't quite sure what to do, and everyone's collectively, I think, as much as we don't talk about it, I don't think as much these days. I think everyone's trying to get back to normal as well. I feel we're still trying to sort of pick up the pieces a little bit. And so, I think some of those, the elements of helping other people kind of got lost a little bit, at least for me. I think I used to do a lot of charity stuff, probably like one event a year, one major event a year, and I haven't since 2020. I think was the last time, and that's quite sad. I would like to get back to doing that. Um, but at the same time, we're working up to it, and I think it'll happen. But in smaller ways, I look at how do I contribute to things, and I think about it, and it's like as much as I don't do a charity event as often as I would like these days. I do still contribute to charities. If I ever see a friend or a fellow streamer or someone that's streaming something, I'll drop them some money to the thing that they're not like a donation. I mean, like, to the charity if they're doing a charity stream. I'll drop some money to the charity that they're raising money for, or you know if usually it's if I'm scrolling through Twitter, right, which I don't do as much these days. I don't even have it installed on my phone. I haven't for about a year now, which has been great, but that's a whole other topic. I think that what I do is if I'm scrolling through, if I ever see a post, right, that'll be like someone needs money for, a medical condition or for their pet is a big one for me, usually as a motivator. I usually don't scroll past it. I don't know if you can hear that outside. If you can, I think it just adds to the ambience of what this commentary is supposed to be. But I'll usually click on it and donate. It's not normally, loads. It depends on my own current financial situation. You know, if I've had, you know, a load of you know, videos doing well, and or I've had a big sponsor, and you know, I have a bit more money than I usually would, or whatever. You know, maybe I'll donate a bit more. If I'm having, you know, a tough month where, you know, videos are just flopping left, right, and center because I'm making stuff that I want to make instead of making stuff that is gonna get views, then, you know, maybe I'll donate a little bit less. You know, sometimes it could be like $5, sometimes, you know, maybe as much as $50. It depends, you know what I mean? Like, it really depends. But that's something I like to do because it makes me feel good, but also I think there's like an empathy element there, right? Like, I mean, any of the reason why you would donate to charity is because you feel empathy, but I think there's this, what I've started looking at it as is like, how many people just scroll past? How many people don't think twice? How many people look at it and think, oh, that's such a shame, and then don't help, right? And that's not a problem. Like, a lot of people have very tough financial situations. That's not me judging you for not giving away your money. You might be struggling. Um, but for the people that do, I think a lot of people still ignore these things. I remember, you know, you look at children in need. I don't know if is that a worldwide thing, or is that just a UK thing? I have no idea. Or like Comic Relief or whatever. Um, you know, I used to watch those. You know, on the TV when that came around. You know, they do like loads of fucking like fun, you know, little skits and events and like stuff like all night that was just entertaining as fuck. You know, when you were younger as well, and like back in the day, it's quite nostalgic. But I don't think, you know, maybe only like a couple of times did we, like my family, ever donate any money to it. You know, you just watch and you see the counter go up and you're like, oh, other people will do it. And I think to myself, I'm like, well, I don't really want to do that anymore. I would like to contribute. I'd like to be the people that do help, you know. I would like to do that. And I think if everyone thought that way, I think we'd be able to help each other a lot more. Because, you know, I'm not, you know, struggling financially compared to a lot of people out there. So I would like, you know, if I can, if I'm able to be able to give back. And I think that's, you know, that in a smaller, condensed way is, in a way, doing something to make the world a better place, right? Like, even in just a small way. Because I don't think it has to be monumental for it to matter. I think, you know, if you look at even like, you know, a smaller scale way that you can do that, just being kind to people, right? Like, too many people aren't kind. And it's not that they're like nasty or malicious or mean, although a lot of people are. I think it's that a lot of people are just so caught up in their own lives and what they're doing and what's going on with them and their struggles and things like that. And it's fair, you know, you have to worry about yourself, you have to care about yourself. But, you know, just such things as like being kind to a service worker, or just, you know, smiling at people, you know, just being kind, just being nice to people. I think that's, in such a small way, making the world a better place. If everybody did that, if everybody was just nicer and kinder, I think we'd be better off for it. You know what I mean? And I think that in this age of social media, and you know, I've been victim to it too, like victim in the sense that I've done it, so I've been the opposite of a victim. You know what I mean? Uh, we forget that people are people too, and that everybody goes through things and everybody's struggling with stuff. And you know, you might have an argument with someone on Twitter, for example. You might think, what a fucking idiot, they're just a piece of shit, what a dickhead. But in reality, you don't know their situation, you know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to, and people, we love to do it as people, is just tar people as just bad. Oh, this is a bad person, they're a bad person. You know what I mean? People love to do that. And, you know, that's happened to me, and I've also done it myself. And that's a fault we have, and I think we have to recognize it. I think it's, you know, you have to look at people and be like, okay, so I've had issues with this person, but that doesn't make them bad. They're just as nuanced and complicated as I am, and that's just the nature of people. And through that, try to be kinder. You know what I mean? Just try to be a kinder person. And it's not easy. I'm not saying I'm, you know, the pinnacle of kindness, because absolutely I'm not. It's something you have to work on, but I think it's something that does contribute to making the world a better place. You know what I mean? I think there's several things that we could do to be able to do that. And I think when people ask that question in a condescending manner, it's sort of like, why? Like, what do you want from that? Like, what are you trying to ask? You know? I don't know. I think we can all do small things to make the world a better place. And I don't know. I guess that's just where I'm at with it, I suppose. But hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to do the other stuff. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. What do you do to make the world a better place? Or what can people do to make the world a better place? I'd be interested to know. I'll be doing more of these. I'm aiming to do them once a week. Because it was originally supposed to be a joke where I would do like meme videos, but I actually thought it was such a fun idea that I was like, no, I think these should be real, like legit commentaries on topics with some Assassin's Creed gameplay in the background. If you're wondering how I'm playing Assassin's Creed multiplayer when nobody's playing it, you should hop into the Assassin's Creed multiplayer revival Discord server. People in there are playing even games as old as Brotherhood, that's really cool. So that's also a part of this I really like. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.